Most people say they want to trust their gut until their gut starts screaming. So that's kind of the giveaway. True intuition is going to expand you. False intuition is going to contract you. When someone advises you to go with your gut, it's probably the worst advice you'll ever get. Welcome to Thursday Transmission, everyone. This is when we take 20 minutes every week to cut through the noise, clear the energy, and remember something that we never lost, but maybe we just forgot, which is your true self within. So as you know, when you operate from your true self, or at least you have a smidgen of understanding that you have a true self, your higher self, your soul, and you make decisions from that place and you operate from that place, life is easier because life has a way of going upside down and all around. So it's really important that you keep tapping into what we just say, find your center. And that's what we do on Thursday Transmissions. We want you to find your center. So I'm sure you got your email, your text. I think someone just said stop. So sorry. Sorry for the reminders, everyone. I wouldn't want to talk you out of your transformation or opt you out of your transformation. But there's, we have all the messaging and reminders and all that dialed in, and I'm sure you got it, but it was just like 4 minutes before we started. It came to me why I wanted to do this topic, which is why you don't want to trust your gut. So that's the topic. That's the Thursday Transmission, why you don't want to trust your gut. And I think it's because I was having these flashbacks, everyone, to several people that I've talked to over time. One, I would just say a couple of months ago, where they show up, they'll get on a call with me and they're like, I'm absolutely sure I cannot carry on like I am. I need to clear my energy, which I'm really good at clearing energy. I need a new paradigm, which we're really good at setting up new paradigms here over at Illumination Academy. All the things they say they need to do to change. That moving forward like this, in this kind of etheric, energetic, emotional pain is no longer a consideration. So I say, okay, here's what we can do to move forward. And then they're like, okay, that sounds great. I need to meditate on it. And I'm like, wait, what? You just told me that you can't stay where you are. I just gave you a solution that's really quite reasonable, and you want to meditate on it? That's not how meditation works, everyone. What just happened in that moment is the person had a gut reaction of fear because they were about to catapult out of their current state that they're saying they no longer can be in into something that is way more transcendence and amazing. But what their gut is saying and what their nervous system and what their subconscious is saying is it's going to get better. You're not used to better. You're used to this spin, this chaos, this messiness. This is what you know how to do. So just tell that person, Kisma, you're going to go meditate. And then the next day you're going to come around and say, you know what? I just need a few months. You need a few months to stay right where you are, even though it's painful. That is not the way you trust your gut. And so this is going to sting a little bit because people will tell you all day long, what's your gut say? Trust your gut. But what if your gut isn't the voice of wisdom? What if your gut is not the intuition that you do want to trust? But what if your gut reaction is not the intuition, is not the wisdom, but it's the voice of your subconscious panic system just going, rah, 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 alerts going off? What if that thing that you're trusting is actually like this accumulated programming of fear, of shame, of childhood defense mechanisms that, it's Halloween, is disguised as intuition? And let me be clear, this is not about ignoring your gut. It is about discerning whose voice it's actually speaking with. Because not everything that feels off is danger. Not everything that feels safe is truth. And this is something we really have to look at. So when you say, my gut says no, What's really happening? It's not magic. It's actually neurobiology. Let's say you have, well, for me, I could say, all right, I'm going to get up early and go to the gym, and it's going to be really tough. I wake up, my guts like stay under the duvet. Why do you want to go to the gym? You're all cozy. Or you need to have, a difficult conversation with maybe a business partner or a team member or an intimate partner. And you start to think about that conversation, your gut's like, no. Because who wants to have difficult conversations? Well, your gut doesn't. Your brain doesn't. Your nervous system doesn't. Your subconscious doesn't, because on the other side of those difficult conversations is growth, is expansion, is a new identity. And as you've heard me say a million times, if you haven't, then I'll keep saying it. Your brain, your nervous system, your subconscious doesn't want you to grow and expand and be this amazing leader or coach or business owner or partner, whatever, healer. It wants you to stay safe. Safe is familiar, even if familiar is the crazy spin. So the neurobiology of your gut, your solar plexus, remember your solar plexus is the organ of your subconscious mind, like your brain is the organ of the conscious mind. And it's wired directly to the vagus nerve. So it's the seat of instinct, to be sure, but it's also like a storage unit for emotional memory. So every betrayal, every rejection, even humiliation, which as a musician, I've had a lot. I don't know about you, but I think we've all had those embarrassing moments. All of them are stored there. They're cataloged. It's like a file clerk of stuff. So then when you meet an opportunity that mirrors the same frequency, your body reacts before your conscious mind has even made sense of it. Every time you have an opportunity that says, whoa, maybe you're going to expand, but through that expansion, you might be embarrassed. You might have to talk. You might have to show up differently, and whoop, the alerts go off. Your nervous system is saying, well, the last time I did this, I got hurt, so don't do it again. Or your brain or your subconscious is saying, if you move through that, you're going to be at a new level, and that is scary to us. That's scary to the ego. And if you don't know the difference, you'll confuse like self-protection for divine guidance. And so here's the thing I want you to think about. Most people say they want to trust their gut until their gut starts screaming. It's like a solar plexus purge. And then they panic and they have what they think is a really good reason to opt out of something that is growth, something that is good for them, something that is expansion and amazing. Because they'll be like, oh no, my solar plexus is telling me no. They'll say it's my intuition is telling me no. But really it's the vagus nerve and the neurobiology and the solar plexus and all these things just going, right, you're going to be different. And different is scary. And I meditated on it and I couldn't focus. So that must be my intuition saying no. That's not what meditation is about. Meditating on your true self within. Right? So there's a big problem with what everyone thinks about in their gut. Your gut doesn't care if you meditate or not, if you go for the quantum leap or not, if you ask for the promotion or not. Your gut's trying to protect you. Metaphysically, the solar plexus, that organ of the subconscious mind, is the seat of personal power. The place where spirit translates into action in a really cool way if you allow it. So when that solar plexus is clean, it's your inner compass. When the solar plexus is clogged, is congested, it's a fear magnet. I would write that down. When my solar plexus is congested, it's like a fear magnet. As Daniel said, is it fear, is it excitement? So what most people feel in their gut really isn't truth, it's tension. It's worry. It's repelling you hitting that terror barrier. And people have built lives avoiding pain instead of pursuing their purpose. I would say there's no purpose worth pursuing if you don't have to get uncomfortable to go for it. And you know that magic happens when you get uncomfortable. You don't need to be in pain, but uncomfortableness is growthness. And so where I get a little like, I got to look into this, is when people mimic the gut response of fear. It's intuition. So it's mimicking as intuition, but it's not real intuition. Your intuition is a direct line hookup to universal intelligence space. Your intuition is going to take you towards good things. Your gut might be like, oof, that's a little bit scary. You're hitting a capacity edge. You better stop because we don't want to change. So that's kind of the giveaway. True intuition is going to expand you. False intuition is going to contract you. Truth is going to liberate, right? But fear is going to, you could say truth is going to liberate your gut, your diaphragm, your belly, but fear is going to make it constrict. You'll even feel nauseous. So it's like an energetic reaction in the solar plexus. And it's actually tied to all of your past experiences, like a warning signal, a misalignment. But what I want you to think about, everyone, is rather than trusting your gut, I want you to learn how to trust the consciousness behind it. So you can't really trust that gut until you've trained it, until you've rehabilitated the subconscious, until, as many of you know, because you work with us or you have your own amazing healing and energy work that you do, when you are clear and clean and focused, then you might still feel that, oof, there's a little sizzle there because I'm about to expand. But your intuition is like, go. Just go. If you're not clear, the gut will talk you out of bold ideas. It'll rationalize and even give you false logic and staying small. And here's the thing, it rewards you for playing safe. So think about this dance we do when we hit an edge, when we are about to have a breakthrough. And if you look at a breakthrough energetically, it's like your field crystallizes. And when you move through that terror barrier, it like shatters. And you're like, oh, wow, I feel good. But a lot of people don't move through the crystallization. They constrict, they contract, they come back. And it has a false sense of relief. Oh man, I hit that edge. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go watch TV, or I'm just going to go eat cake, or I'm going to have a glass of wine or whatever. And you could do all those things. Like, those things aren't the wrong things. The wrong thing, for lack of a better word, is when you pull back. Then you have this feeling of relief. But the relief on the other side of moving through the breakthrough, of actually letting the field crystallize and shatter, that relief is like exaltation. You can't even describe it. It's so amazing because you know that you just stepped in to another level and your soul is so happy. But when someone isn't clear and when someone doesn't keep moving and they tell themselves, no, you know what? I'll do it next month. You know what? I don't need to have that conversation. I don't need to do a coaching program. I don't need to be on stage. I don't need to write a book. I'm sure Cindy hears this. Then they retreat and they have been hijacked. So they mistake their subconscious warning sirens for the voice of God. God doesn't want me to do that right now. The universe, it's not right now. It's bullshit. It really is. It's hijacking your soul. So the same mechanism that protects you from fire will also keep you from walking into your purpose if your belief system labels purpose as danger. And until you reprogram, rehabilitate, clear out your subconscious, your gut, your chakras, your energy, your mindset, you will allow yourself to be pulled backward because it feels like you're just being pulled out of the fire. Yeah, the not yet. Not yet is just being like, whoo, I'm feeling that thing. Not yet. I'm not ready to move through that terror barrier. Because what's really happening is like, I'm afraid of my voice. I'm afraid what people are going to think. I'm going to have to do the work, all the things, but yet on the other side, it really is sublime. This is why most people stay right where they are. You guys don't. You're here listening to something called Thursday Transmission. Who shows up for that? You're part of the people that you understand. You've got to move through it. I mean, we have a fabulous new COO in Illumination Academy, and he's like, wow, Kisma, it seems like you're just hitting your capacity edge. And I'm like, better believe it. But I know what to do. I mean, that's what all of you that have been around us, and certainly my team and our clients, we know what to do. We can call it, man, this is an edge. And so the reframe is, how much fun is it to work through an edge? Because how many more people will I help? How much more will I grow? How much more awareness will I have? And so this is where I want to take you to next. Everyone take a breath. It's really how to reclaim your gut, like the true gut, right? The gut, the intuition gut, the one that's like, ooh, okay, let's go. Because sometimes that gut, like we know what it is when maybe you walk into a restaurant and you're like, oh, something's off. That's something to listen to, because your mammalian brain or your energy field sensed something that was off. But it's different, right? From, hey, I just walked into an event and I'm supposed to take the stage. You might still have a gut reaction, but it's a different kind of fear. So there's the sensors of, something's not right. I'm going to exit this restaurant, so to speak. But when you're about to expand and you're mimicking fear, or you are in fear, but it's mimicking intuition, you got to pay attention. So here's what you do. This really integrates kind of the science and spirit of it to reclaim the truth that your intuition can help you with, and to break through when the solar plexus is just holding you back. And it's something, hopefully, you people that serve others, you can help walk them through it. So the first thing is awareness. Every time you feel that gut clench, or you want to back off, or you hit an edge, just pause. You don't need to react from that. You're just like, is this protection or is this intuition? And then it's like an observation, right? So you don't need to obey right away, but you want to observe. You're like, all right, gut, you're giving me some information here, but I'm not going to give you the steering wheel, right? I'm not going to let a bundle of nerves make a decision. I'm going to let my higher self carry me forward. And then you have this calibration that happens over experience. So when you act in alignment with expansion, you will break through things. You will hit terror barriers, and they're not fun, except when you get to the other side. It's really fun. So it's kind of a renunciation. Your purpose and your expansion needs to mean more to you than hitting a wall and feeling that fear. So when you continue to align with expansion, you have the experience. Every time you do this, every time you move through, you're actually retraining your nervous system, your ego, your brain, your subconscious to associate growth with beauty, with magnificence, and even safety. That's how I can move through things so fast, as I've done. I don't know, some of you are performers, you know what it's like. Like, you can't not go on stage. Like, Daniel knows this, some of you others, like, oh shit, I have to play a concerto. My gut's like vomiting. I'm nauseous. but I can't not go on stage. I'll get booed, and booed is worse to the ego. So you move through it, and then you move through it again. Then you move through it, and you're like, oh, I see what's happening here. It's actually really cool to go on stage. Whatever your stage is, it's really fun. And so the other thing that you really want to know is you have to have the energetic hygiene. Anybody that's in our ashram group or our prosperity coaching method group, when they say, hey, Kisma, can you recommend a clearing? I have X, Y, and Z coming up. You know that 95% of the time I'm like, solar plexus clearing, solar plexus clearing, solar plexus clearing. So that actually the solar plexus, your subconscious mind, the vagus nerve, your nervous system, all the things are just set for alignment for your highest and best. Because it's easy to change mindset. It's not easy to sustain it without the energy clearing. So if your energy is scattered, if you have a lot of worries and fears, when someone advises you to go with your gut, it's probably the worst advice you'll ever get. Because your gut will a lot of times tell you, run from your problems. I mean, this is like, I can't tell you the times my gut will say, hey, Kisma, go take a nap. You don't need to deal with that. A nap is my favorite opt-out. So what I've learned to do is, all right, let me write this thing down that I'm looking at, that I do, that is in my highest and best to look at, to have the conversation about, to invest in. And I'm also going to take the nap, so I'm really set for it. And you want to understand that when you opt into fear, you're opting out of the stretch. You're opting out of a new way of being, doing, and having. And if you always trust your gut that is aligned with fear and protection, then you're always moving away from a quantum leap. You're giving yourself excuses, and the excuses and the justification that comes after you opt out, you've got stacks of it. We all do. Because the moment we opt out, we have that reprieve. Oh, okay, I don't have to have the stretch. There is all these, see, it wouldn't have worked anyways. And look, I get to be here. Oh, I'm going to, all these things. But then you're living a life avoiding challenges. And if you avoid challenges, you avoid growth, and that's just boring. So friction, everyone, and I know we're running over. I'll close it up with this. Friction doesn't have to be avoided. It can be embraced. And when you have a decision or a sense, just take a breath. If you feel that gut punch of, I don't want to do this, ask yourself, is this decision going to take me toward my goals and dreams? Is it going to take me towards expansion? Will it stretch me? If the answer is yes, go. Accept, embrace the stretch. Then you talk to the stretch. Hey, and you say this out loud. Hey, nervous system, it's safe. Hey, ego, there's room for you. Hey, subconscious mind, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then this is the best advice I can give you. When you hit the edge, when you hit the terror barrier, move through it with presence. Imagine you're assuming your throne and you have this beautiful presence. Because that's all it is. It's a big fat terror barrier, and you can move through it. And when you're present, when you're aware, you'll move through it like a queen, like a king. You'll dissolve it. It'll be dust before you know it. And you will feel so accomplished on the other side. And you arrive to a place where you're actually making a difference. And that's what life is all about. Remember, the principle of life force is expansion. When you choose to expand, then your soul is sovereign. And the more that you're clear with the consciousness behind your choices, your own level of consciousness, you keep lifting up that consciousness, you will know when it's a BS, monitor in your gut, and when it's a truth. I love that. So Rhonda says, I psyched myself up this week to break through a terror barrier. Amazing. And next time, I would say you don't even need to psych yourself up. You're just like, presence, let's go. Assume your throne. You're all magnificent beings. You're this divine being. You're having a physical experience. Part of that physical experience is, ooh, man, I feel nauseous. I don't want to do that. I don't want to, you don't want to do it because it's a stretch. But the more you do it, again, you build that experience, that collaboration, and then you're like, it's sort of like this. Like when I have that gut punch now, I just go, yeah, I know what's going. I know, I feel you. But here we go. Then, and maybe we'll talk about this next week, then you call in your spiritual team. And your spiritual team just makes you sail through it. And you know, no matter what, on the other side, everything's going to be amazing. I love that. It's even cooler when going on stage is just the next logical thing to do. So what's your stage, everyone? Assume your throne, move through, stop listening to the old lower self, listen to the higher self, and let's go. All right, that's your Thursday transmission. Just pop a few words of what made sense for you, and I'd love to hear it, and we'll send out the replay so you can listen to it again. But I hope it was helpful. All right, everyone, peace out. We'll see you soon. Namaste.